February 1.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
All right, Nate, thank you for posting the meeting and doing up our agenda. What's our first agenda item?
Not minutes, cause Chuck just told me that I volunteered to do the minutes, which
No, not for this.
Oh, for
planning.
capital, okay, I didn't and do not volunteer to do the minutes for
No,
finance committee.
I'm already
Like,
doing this. That's all.
Oh, okay.
That's all squared away.
no, I guess we'll just catch up on some stuff, and then I do have a capital improvement plan to present to you
Okay.
for hopeful adoption and or discussion.
Okay,
Chuck was a great chair of the 3-member capital improvement committee. We
yay.
had to swap one out due to a vacation, but
That's all right.
so former member of the finance committee, Pete Russell, ended up hopping in last minute due to
Oh, okay.
a vacation from another member, and
Uh-huh.
he did good.
Oh, good.
Well, but things are going okay.
All right.
Earlier today, I sent out an email asking the departments to do an exercise where they provide me with what a 3% decrease on last year would look like. I am hoping that it is just an exercise.
Oh.
And because we do at this moment have the free cash to fund what our predictions are saying,
Yeah.
but that's not best practice. So I'm hoping to only have to utilize the 3% as an exercise in prioritization and also to learn what is attempted to be hidden. Cause a lot of times departments over year will say, yeah, I don't need all that, but I like to have it. So seeing where the different departments would cut from is a good exercise for my office. Going forward in the future, I may be an annoying town administrator and have them do 3 different budget sheets. One that is the average 2% increase in payroll and whatever the select board and finance committee came to a decision on. One that is a 2 or 3% cut, and one that is something like an 8% increase, to
Oh.
understand where the department heads' priorities are and what they would do in the event of us
Well, the windfall.
fixing everything. So that helps understand prioritization and gain ideas more than just saying, hey, if everything changed, what would we do? Cause then
Mhm.
you have them actually thinking about it and prioritizing in hopes of something actually happening. Sure, year 4 won't be as pretty as year 1, but that's something I'm hoping to implement next year. The budget should be ready in about a month. This is not easier, but a lot different than last year because I was teaching myself and revamping all of the documents last year, so turns out having something ready to go is a lot easier than creating something from scratch.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to implement KPIs in a number of the departments this year. I had them all turn over certain different numbers, so that will be interesting to present on. It's not going to show us much this year, but over time, as we track year over year over year,
Mhm.
it will.
Okay.
So, financially, things are going okay. Like, everything is on track. Last week I released the Q2 report, which does show that we are on track both with expenditures and our revenue projections.
Okay.
So things are okay. There's still not a lot of money to be spent, and there are certainly fires, such as the boiler at the library just deciding that it was done.
Mhm.
So you'll learn more about that during the presentation, but the library board of trustees ended up taking that on, but the town is likely to have to take on something else that will be within the capital plan later. But other than that, all of the new employees are doing very well. Mary, the treasurer collector, is doing very, very well. Candace, the town clerk, is very busy but doing well. This is her busy time of year cause she's the assessing clerk and the town clerk,
Mm-hmm.
and the town census and the assessing busy times hit at the same time.
Okay.
So, but other than that, things seem to be going pretty well.
Swimmingly. Good. Well, that's good.
Any questions on anything you heard out and about that?
Question, not, the green, the grant we got for green thingy,
Hold
was
your
it?
horses.
That'll come up in the capital planning.
All right,
Cause he said boiler was gone, I wasn't sure if it was related and.
So they're not related, but the timing was impeccable. Like, so it ended up that the boiler went, the next day we found out about the Green Communities grant, and that same week was the week where I had to turn in my final capital improvement plan to the Capital Improvement Planning Committee. So I was able to smooth everything out to make it work.
Okay. Well then, without further ado, let's see the
All right.
capital improvement plan.
Alright, I will be formal yet informal at the same time, because I know you do all know about the capital improvement plan and what it is all about. I
Mhm.
will be making more of a formalized version of this presentation at the select board meeting on Monday night, but right now I feel like it will be best to keep it rather informal. If you want to ask questions at any point of Chuck or myself, feel free to reach out. The capital planning committee this year was wonderful. We were very efficient and got things done in a timely order.
Good.
It's easy to get things done timely when there's limited money to spend. So,
Yep.
but we did get it done. So
Good.
this is the this year I've been trying to do a number of infographics to aid those who may not know necessarily about municipal government or their government in knowing a little bit more. Because I found over the first decade of my career that everyone will say they know what's going on, but a lot of times people will need a little bit of a refresher, or if the information is being offered, they'll take you up on it. That is what we are attempting to do with the Citizens Academy that is being advertised right now, that I'm hoping to start in March. If you know of anyone interested in that, we have 0 applicants so far. So if we don't get at least 6, we will likely hold off until the fall, because
Okay.
I am telling myself it is not us, it is the weather.
Here's what I found.
No, well, she wants to be part of it. So I'm hoping to be able to do a number more of these in the budget. You've likely been able to tell by what I've been putting out. I don't hate the graphic side of things.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Introduction. What is the Capital Improvement Planning Committee? The Capital Improvement Planning Committee is tasked annually with developing a 5-year capital plan. This started formally in, I believe, 2019 under my predecessor, Ryan, and he received a community compact grant from the state to work with the Collins Center to create our first capital plan. COVID both derailed and sped up that plan, because
Yeah.
we were able to purchase a lot of the things on the plan very quickly. But
Right.
it also derailed a number of things and pushed things out. So when I got here last year, the plan was a little bit sloppy, and there was a lot of just uncertainty involved in it. So coming into this year, one of my main goals was to tighten up the capital improvement plan, stick to our financial goals, and really just aim at putting forward things that are realistic and timely. The members of the committee this year are Charles Reed, the Finance Committee rep, who served as the committee chair, William Murray, the community representative. I believe he's been on the Capital Improvement Planning Committee in several renditions,
Yeah.
going back decades, even before the 2019 formalized report.
Yeah.
Peter Russell, a former Finance Committee member and a Planning Board alternative member who stepped in for Francois Steiger when he had a vacation lineup with the lion's share of capital improvement meetings.
Oh.
So, well, when there's only 3 meetings, that can happen.
Nice vacation.
The CIP outlines the 5-year infrastructure, facilities, vehicles, equipment, and other assets needs based on department project submissions. This year I aimed to do a community capital aspect of it, offering the community the opportunity to turn in a project idea that they think would benefit the community to at least be thought of, and nobody turned anything in. So we didn't do that, but I'm gonna try it again next year, because my goal was to, within my first 5 years here, aim to fund at least one of these community projects that came in. I'm not doing really well on that goal.
How are you communicating those asks?
The website, Facebook, I spoke about that at a number of select board meetings. Short of mailing people letters, I really went out on all the avenues. I spoke about it on local cable access.
Okay.
So all of the traditional means, like I didn't put it in any papers or anything
Right.
like that. My town administrator report, it was
Okay.
in there. I can only go so far
Yep,
with a lot
true.
of the stuff.
Okay.
And I found that a number of the individuals that maybe would have put in knew a little bit about the financial situation of a lot of the town line items and such, so didn't. But I would still love to hear from people if we're looking into pickleball or a theater or things like that, or even smaller things like, I don't know, but I'm hoping that next year we can get at least 2 or 3 community capital items involved.
Okay.
Would it be worthwhile to bring that up during the town meeting?
I likely will. We'll have to see how town meeting comes together.
Yeah.
Yep, so it'll be interesting. And a capital project is a project over $10,000 with a multi-year benefit for things like vehicles, infrastructure, facilities, and major equipment. There is a inventory of all of our capital items on the town administrator's website. It is in the town charter that I must put it out every year, and I caught up on that this year. There hadn't been one since 2020 for obvious reasons. Why create a capital plan? Since capital projects create a long-term asset and a long-term investment, it makes sense to do them differently than short-term operating items. Strategically utilizing debt, grants, reserve, capital financing, and one-time reserves creates the ability to purchase larger items without creating a strain on your operating budget. The key benefits include the minimization of budget impacts, reducing emergency costs, enabling phased investments, strategic land acquisition, which I wish we could do, efficiency coordination, and progress towards community goals. So as I was saying earlier, this can all be found on the town administrator's website. In our inventory, we have 8 buildings housing municipal operations, a number of computers, over 40 specialized vehicles ranging from dump trucks to fire engines, a very, very attractive park and town common, 80 miles of roads and bridges, with 20 of them being town owned. So there's a lot of stuff owned by a municipality, and unfortunately, facilities management hasn't been a long-term strength of the town of Hubbardston, and that is something that I'm hoping to turn around in the coming years, but it is not an overnight endeavor. Capital planning policies. In 2019, the town formalized its capital planning policies. 2019 was a big year for policies, and the main thing the capital planning policy did was outline the capital improvement planning committee, the setup for the capital plan, and setting the 6% of free cash goal for each year. You will all know this, but to fund capital investments, we use a mixed bag of revenue from the tax levy to free cash reserves, capital stabilization, sale of town assets, debt financing. There's also grants such as the MassWorks grant, Green Communities grant, which you will hear about in a few moments, library construction grants, the park grant, which is a grant for parks, and many more. There are so many grants and so little time for small municipalities. I have met with Director of Rural Affairs Ann Goby several times over the last few months. She even came to Hubbardston for an evening to hear from residents in November. She has recently taken on her first employee, and that employee is there to assist municipalities with applying for grants that they may not have been able to before. In addition to that, when we lost Mark Kresge as the land use clerk, I did ever so slightly reimagine the position to a land use clerk slash special projects assistant. So the new land use clerk, whose name is Tricia, she is the storytime lady. She now assists with grants. She's only been working here for approximately a month, so we haven't really gotten to dive in too deeply, because I did want to give her time to learn about planning, zoning, and conservation before saying, oh, forget that and let's go. But I hope to really use her energy to apply for more grants than we have in the past. Because as I'm sure you know, there are bandwidth issues in small communities. Because everybody is doing what they need to do during the day-to-day, it makes it very challenging to think progressively. Capital planning fiscal targets. As I was saying, the target is 6% of the operating budget to annual capital spending. That this year ended up being $273,335 based on the 5-year forecast I presented at your last meeting. Those are the numbers I use until I get a more reliable number. The governor's House 2 budget did come out last week with a 3% increase in unrestricted government aid, which we beautifully call UGA. And so a 3% increase is approximately $21,000, but we're not going to get into that at this moment. 2024 was a decent year for capital projects. We put $100,000 additionally into the annual road repair program. I believe this is the 4th, if not 5th year that the additional $100,000 was placed into the roads. That is a major opportunity for us. This year we received an additional $280,000 for roads as well through the fair share money that is being allocated right now. Travis plans to do all of New Westminster instead of just half of it next summer, so that'll be good. As you know, the roads are figured out with a formula, and it's not just throwing a dart at the wall. I hear from people about roads secondary only to taxes. So we do hear you and we understand, and if there was a magical funding source to do all the roads, we would do it. But that also likely wouldn't be smart either, because then they would all come to fail at the same time. So it's a two-edged sword. We put $100,000 into repairing the DPW garage roof. That was in partnership with $50,000 received in a state earmark 2 years ago from former state senator Ann Goby. The Main Street repaving, I was able, the fire department, I was able to take off of the capital improvement plan due to a request to MassDOT when they had a bunch of pavement in front of there anyway. So they were doing the center of town and they ended up being able to do the front of the Main Street Fire Department parking lot and right in front of the police department, which was a tripping hazard as of this moment, free of charge. Any overages do come back to the town of Hubbardston, so that's why I said, as of this moment, free of charge. We did $250,000 to the ambulance 2 replacement. That was portioned, some from capital improvement, some from ARPA. A $6,000 library planning assessment. That is something that I will learn more about tonight while the library presents their strategic plan. And $19,000 in annual technological updates. That is the only money that we buy hardware with. And in today's modern age, without this computer, I'm not getting very far. And the money inside the capital improvement plan is the only monies we receive to keep our technological programs going. The IT budget that you see within the operations plan is for software and emergencies and that kind of issues. There is no purchases of actual hardware through there. Later this year, we will be finishing off the $19,000 with a storage system upgrade in the police department. And how may we forget that there was a massive $5 million improvement project through the center of town scheduled to be finished in June.
What remains to be done?
Engineering stuff, like
Oh.
font checklist stuff and
All right.
making it pretty.
Oh, it looks pretty now.
Paint the lines.
Yeah, paint the lines again.
Oh, well, that's true. That's true. Make sure the grass grows.
Yeah, make sure the grass is down, putting all the final signs up.
Okay, all right.
Final touches.
As a sucker for a good time, I will likely have another nice little event to celebrate the completion of that project.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Key projects purchased in the capital plan in the short term, they are on your list right in front of you on the Town of Hubbardston FY 25 through 29 capital improvement plan, are $100,000 for ongoing road maintenance. I've already spoken to the importance of that. $20,000 for annual technology upgrades, $87,000 to replace an aging police cruiser, $9,000 to purchase a new DPW mower, $15,000 to organize and digitize town clerk records, $13,000 to upgrade the DPW fuel management system, $20,000 towards future fire department SCBA replacements. It's breathing apparatus. It's the required breathing equipment for firefighters, and the way I'm proposing we do it is $20,000 a year in hopes that we get a grant later and can just use the $20,000 for something else, versus wait until 2026, 2027 and have to shell out what would be about half of our capital budget at the time. And $12,000 for a Green Communities grant match for clean energy upgrades.
That's the heat pump.
Yeah, I think I have a whole slide on explaining it.
Okay.
No, I don't, so I'll explain it now.
Right.
So basically what happened is when we were applying for the Green Communities grant, it came to me that the energy panel was going to need to be upgraded at the library in order to handle the system. So I went to the library trustees and they were able to cover the $12,000, which I believe is 6% of the project cost. Last month now, since it's February 1st, the boiler over at the library broke. It ended up being $23,700, of which the library trustees said they could pay for, and they did. But the other side of that is they were using a majority plus of the monies that they would have used to match the Green Communities grant if we got it, the next day we got it. So I spoke with them and told them that I would do my best to get it into the capital plan. Since they showed up quickly, that's the least I could really do on my end, because we didn't need to hold a special town meeting to buy a boiler.
So is the heat pump a substitute for the boiler?
No.
They can't rely on just the heat pump, they still need the boiler. That was a question I asked too,
Alright.
because if it gets too cold.
No, I
It
know, I
won't
know.
function. It
Yeah.
functions up to 5 degree or something like that.
What is the heat pump going to serve? What part of the library?
Almost all of it, not the way upstairs. I can tell you actually right now.
I'm asking all these questions because I'm wondering what it will look like on the outside of the building.
It's a historical building.
That's
And
why I don't
we-
have any
the-
heat pumps at my house.
The library trustees met with the engineer very early on in this project,
Yeah.
and we discussed that. All of the wires would be coming out the further side of the building, near where there are already some utility infrastructure.
What about the outside?
Yeah, the unit on the outside.
It's just, I don't believe there is a unit on the outside, there's just the big generator size
That's what I-
part
that's
that's
what I
gonna
mean, is
go,
that thing.
it's gonna go on the back end near the stairs. So, and then everything else, they will be classy, they do have experience in handling historical buildings. Short of writing a paragraph about it, I did plan on leaving that up to the library board of trustees.
Okay. Right.
But I have been assured by Morgan Brinker and Tom Robinson that they were
All over it.
they were good with it and content with what the engineer had stated, and would be keeping their eye on it next year when we actually implement the project. Any questions on any of these other items?
Let's see the other items. No, I don't think so. No.
Alright.
What's our grand, let's see, what's our grand total? 276.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's the fuel management system that you talk about? I think that's the Gatsby fuel pump.
Yeah. Everyone keeps asking me about the fuel system. So it is a fuel accounting system that accounts for, you go up, you scan your card, and it then does the budgeting for you. Ours is, the software system is outdated and the hardware is no longer being backed by the company. So we do need a new one. The ROI on here in staff time is very much worth it. It is very helpful. It stops us from having to guess, whereas we know exactly what we're spending in fuel each year, who's spending it. It's very worthwhile.
Okay.
The fuel pump itself.
All right, sounds good.
Alright. The FY 25 Strategic Capital Investment Opportunities is the fun new name I gave to the part of the capital plan that isn't really real.
That's
So
right.
that's the other page that is in front of you, and that is more or less our wish list at this time. At a certain point over the next few years, I am hoping that this will more align with a strategic plan and less a wish list, but it is what it is for right now.
Where's our facilities? since this is a wish list.
Yeah. You gotta rein it in somewhere.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, and I hope to, over the next few years, to enhance this and expand it and put some of those projects on here. Even in the presentation, what's coming up, I do mention a number of projects that are not on here. So key opportunities include $350,000 in recurring Chapter 90 state road funds, $160,000 in library upgrades with a grant. So this is not a wish list. We have one of the items.
Oh, okay, great.
Look at us. A $800,000 fire engine replacement via debt, which I do have on the plan for FY25, simply because it was there. I still very much, over the course of the next few weeks, need to talk to Debt Council and the Select Board and Finance Committee. Tonight, I do not have enough information on the potential fire truck debt exclusion, but I ask that if the proposal does receive Finance Committee endorsement, that we understand that we're leaning towards a no on doing that this year anyhow, just because of a number of things, finances, politics, timing. So I'm speaking with the fire department, debt council, and a few others in the next few weeks to discuss the feasibility of actually going for that. I was speaking with Chief Hayes previously, and he had noted a couple of failures on attempted debt exclusions for fire apparatus in the last decade. So I'm hesitant to kind of take shots that are likely failures when we do have so many other opportunities to make attempts at other things.
How long have we been putting off the fire truck purchase?
I believe it's a 2007. But it's rusting out. And Chief, I'm sorry.
We've been putting this off since 2007?
No, the truck is from.
The truck is a, it is a 2007 vehicle.
Okay, so it's,
What is
Almost
I think I
the,
have more
years
info
old.
on the truck.
but
Hold
but
on.
what, how long have they been looking to replace it?
I'm gonna
do we
say
know?
at least 5 years.
Okay, all right, that was what my question was, okay. I'm still mad.
But the ambulance, they wanted replaced sooner.
No, because both of these I think were ARPA asks.
so
if I
they have
recall
like a
correctly.
10 years lifetime,
No.
fire trucks?
20,
Oh,
25.
27, so we get that,
What happens with, just like any other vehicle in the Northeast, is rust.
Yeah. He mentioned they have been trying to replace for 5 years, so approximately 2017, and they bought it in 2007, so it's like 10 years lifetime.
Did we buy it new?
No.
Okay.
Got it.
Hold on, I
We didn't
think-
buy, I thought we did buy that one.
One of them is new, I'm not strongest on my fire apparatus. Getting there, and I'm, Chief, I'm sorry.
You should be.
It is hard for me to imagine something more important than
Than
fire
fire trucks,
apparatus.
Given the amount of calls they attend, which have been only increasing year after year.
So.
Engine 2,
that's
the
my-
town's 2000 pumper truck, needs replacement as it exceeds typical life cycles for frontline apparatus. This vehicle supplies water for fire suppression as a first due unit responding to over 100 calls annually. Industry guidance directs engine replacement every 20 to 25 years as maintenance escalates. Engine 2 now requires extensive repairs for tank strapping failures, potentially stemming from winter weather damage. Lead time for building custom fire apparatus exceeds 12 to 24 months. Given long manufacturing schedules, ordering must occur soon to prevent an extended gap with only one reliable engine. If further issues emerge, Engine 2's outage would force relying on mutual aid, increased response time. At over 23 years old, this pumper truck engine has reached its expected lifespan. replacement supports emergency response capabilities and safety of dedicated firefighters serving Hubbardston. Funding the $100,000 expense would require voter-approved debt, protecting the town's frontline fire protection fleet before catastrophic failures, risk firefighters, and public safety meets fiduciary duties. Equipment maintenance issues out of our control present known dangers requiring proactive mitigation through apparatus upgrades. Improvements reduce long-term liability while affirming commitment to first responders answering calls.
When Chief Hayes wrote that?
I wrote that.
You wrote that.
Yeah.
When did you write that?
Last week.
Good, there it is.
Yeah.
There,
This-
that
this
I
was-
think is the most important thing.
This was the truck we had to pay for the pump repair. A couple of years ago, we had to pay some.
I don't remember.
So that I am
Alright, good.
asking that we leave on there as a,
I think you should leave it on, and I think you should, I think we should ask for it, and, I'll get up and do
alright.
my thing.
Alright, some other things on here. There are $75,000 in center school critical repairs that I am hoping can be funded somehow, some way by the state legislature.
What
That
are they?
It's the rest of the boiler. I am quite frustrated with the way this went because the facilities manager at the Quabbin Regional School District told a fresh-faced town administrator that had been on the job for 2 weeks that he needed a boiler, and the boiler was gonna cost $50,000. So that guy, at that time, went forward asking for $50,000, the amount of money that was told to him
Yeah,
that he would need.
yeah.
Then later, when we went and did an RFP, the numbers were coming in at more 125, 150, with the lowest bidder coming in at 115.5. So we now need $65,000 for that, and they recently sent over a announcement that they will need $10,000 for a fire panel replacement. The reason they are doing this is due to the fact that within the school regional agreement, it states anything under $5,000 is paid for by the school, anything over $5,000 is paid for by the town in which owns the building. The regional agreement is up next year, and I am hoping to be able to be part of those conversations,
Ooh.
and it should be interesting.
Oh, it should be.
Yeah.
Don't you need somebody from finance to help
Possibly.
you? Possibly.
They haven't started talking about that. I can't
Oh.
imagine they are eager about it.
Oh,
And
is
because some of
that
our main
fun.
items are that and I don't know if you were paying attention, but mid last year, there was a whole issue involving a chiller, which is a piece of HVAC equipment. And
Vaguely remember something. What
the
happened?
regional agreement, I've done so many things since then, so I'm gonna do my best to put this together. The regional agreement states a certain percentage of debt be paid by each town in accordance with the assessment as of
Yeah.
October 1 of each year.
Yeah,
The smaller communities decided to pay it out of free cash in whole, which then created discrepancies year over year for the remainder of the communities. So we went and sought legal counsel and went back with a request for this specific piece of debt
yeah.
to have it sit still at how much everyone is going to pay, because it would have been unfair for smaller communities with smaller numbers that they're helping pay to pay it off quickly and have no fluctuating costs, whereas Hubbardston and Barry, who would have been taking on $100,000 in debt for this, would have had fluctuations of upwards of $5,000-10,000 year over year based on enrollment.
The bar. Oh, I see,
Yeah.
I see.
So now it's structured
Oh,
one
I
way,
see.
5 years,
Okay,
and
Yeah.
that's something that I'm hoping we can firm up
okay,
next year.
okay. Oh, boy.
On that. This is all things that we've talked about kind of
Yeah.
accidentally.
Yeah,
And then one part that I didn't put in the presentation, but I did put in the booklet, was a thank you to the Lions Club for funding a large piece of capital in the pavilion.
Yeah.
You can see a photo of it on that wall,
yeah.
and that is the key to the pavilion.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Yep, so
Very nice.
that was a very nice donation from the Lions Club.
Yes, it was.
One piece of capital that will be going forward next week that I forgot to talk about is the senior deck.
Oh.
$148,000.
Oh,
It's
oh,
a good project.
Oh,
It's a good project. All right, so any questions on
oh. What'd they ask for out of ARPA? 60 grand?
50?
Was it 50?
Mhm. Any questions on
Where-
this?
Yeah, where's the difference coming from? Did they raise funds?
Yeah, I can show you actually.
Okay. They had a bid for 50 or 60 from someone whose name I won't mention. Oh, boy.
Well, when was that bid?
Yeah, well, the bid came in, when we awarded the ARPA money.
No, I did the bid in the fall.
No, I mean that when they came to ARPA, the
Oh,
ARPA
okay.
committee, they had a bid in hand.
$50,000 from ARPA, $8,526 from the formula grant for 2024, $8,526 from the second half of the formula grant for 2024, $521 from the balance of the formula grant for 2023, a GFA credit union grant for $267.90, a Berry Savings Charitable Foundation donation of $3,000, a senior building account expense of $2,651.81, the COA donations giving tree of $56,153.33, the Friends of the Hubbardston COA donation of $20,000,
Whoa,
making
okay.
the total available funds $149,646.57, and the project cost being $148,355.
Okay,
I am going forward to the select board on Monday to seek authorization to move forward with a contract with Rob Daypre Landscaping and Excavation,
okay,
the lowest bidder.
okay.
He's fairly local. I don't know if he's Hubbardston, I don't believe so, but he's Barry or Westminster or something like that.
Okay, all right, well,
Westminster.
okay.
That is all I've got for this evening. If there were a motion, Madam Chair, it would be greatly appreciated.
To what, adjourn because we're all done?
To endorse or accept the capital plan either as written or as amended.
Oh, I see. How was it amended?
It wasn't
It was not
amended.
amended. Do we have any amendments to the capital plan, gentlemen?
I do not.
I think it looks pretty good. So how about a motion to, what would you like, approve, recommend, what would you like?
Doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Guess endorse would likely be the,
Endorse, all right. Then how about a motion to endorse the capital plan as presented by town administrator?
I agree.
Okay, I will second. Endorse. Capital plan as presented.
it ends up needing to be another word, we'll just use that word.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Alright, all in favor? It's unanimous,
Thank you.
there you go.
I'll keep you in the loop on the fire truck
Yeah,
and how this goes. Obviously, the capital improvement plan and the budget in general have a long way to go before FY '25. Additionally, I am putting together some requests for the finance committee. What do we call the emergency funds?
what, their reserve?
The reserve.
How much is left, for, how much?
$30,000.
We got 30,000 to start
Yeah.
with, alright, we're hitting it already? We're gonna be hitting it
Probably not.
already?
I
Okay.
was going to this meeting, but then everything kind of solved itself.
Okay,
So,
good.
and so right now there's $2,000 in bills that you're not going to love because they have to do with the town center project. But
Well, now what?
just $2,000. The last two
Yeah, well-
engineering bill.
Oh,
Bills.
okay, yeah, whatever, that's okay.
Yeah, but so far things are going all right.
Okay, good, that's good.
It's this time of year. Travis unfortunately had a little bit of a fiasco with one of his trucks. We were able to solve that within the parameters of the operating budget,
Oh,
but
okay.
it was a close to $30,000 fiasco.
What
The
happened?
motor went
Really?
after
Ooh.
fixing in 2014. Yeah,
Oh, how did you fix it?
I don't know.
Rebuilt.
Yeah, they rebuilt the motor.
Oh,
Well, they're rebuilding the motor. I think he just gave them the approval like yesterday.
What is this for? Motor for?
A 2014
Plow thing?
medium-sized plow, so not the big one,
Yeah.
but the next one down. Speaking of the plows, Tricia named all of the plows with help from the students at the library story time and Hubbardson Center School.
what are their names?
I do not remember, but they are
How
all
can you
getting,
not remember?
they are all getting nice stickers.
Okay, good.
I think there's silly things like Plower Ranger and.
Okay, well, good,
Like-
well, that's
Good.
what I wanna know. If they went through the trouble of naming
Yeah,
them,
could
we should,
actually-
we should recognize
I wonder if my daughter would know.
Maybe if we named them, the town would like them and take care of them.
Plow
Just saying.
names.
It'll be easy to remember which truck we're talking about or we talked about.
That's true also.
Storytime picked the Abominable Snowplow,
Excellent choice,
Pre-K Snow Digger,
very nice.
Kindergarten Snowman Destroyer,
Okay.
first grade
Kinda
Snow
dark.
Dozer,
Good.
second grade The Christmas Elf,
Oh, well then, all right.
third grade with my favorite so far, Plowosaurus,
Oh, yeah,
grade 4 Blizzard Master,
nice.
and grade 5 with a good try, Scooby-Doo.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Our educators are doing fabulous work.
Yep, so all of the plows have a name.
Good.
I tried talking her into maybe doing one a year, she said, nope, we're naming them all.
How many plows?
Well,
do you have?
yeah, why wait?
Eight.
Good,
That's
very nice.
all about what I have this evening.
Good. And what's our budget for putting name plaques on the trucks?
Fortunately, Miss Tricia has a, what do you call them,
Sticker printer?
no, the things that make shirts and stickers for,
Yeah, I know, yeah, it's kinda make like stencils out of
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I see. Okay, great. All right, cool.
I'll call it a sticker maker.
there's an acronym for it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
We can call it SM.
Yeah, sticker maker.
All right, great.
Recording is off?
Nope, no, the meeting has not been adjourned.
Okay.
No, not yet. What else is on our agenda? Anything?
Nope.
Okay, good.
That's it.
Anybody have anything else that we should talk about?
Nothing I can think of.
So, when do you think you're gonna need us next?
Yeah, do you have a calendar of various
Yes.
budget activities
Yes, I
you
will
can
send it.
email
Let me
us?
finalize it, cause
Okay.
I wrote it in, say, October. So
Mhm.
let me update that and I will send it out this is the busy time of year, so I'd say we'll, if it's a month from now, like,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine, just to,
cause I
then we
know
can get some things
the
lined up.
joint meeting with the select board is the week of March 18th, if that's the Monday. That's the budget presentation jointly with the select board.
Okay, alright,
I'm going to try to hold a few more public hearings this year. And tomorrow I received a small grant to buy hybrid communications material. So I bought an OWL conference room setup. It is a small speaker looking thing that looks like an owl, and it has a 360-degree camera on the top that goes around with whomever is talking.
oh, wow,
So I'm hoping to be able to utilize that to have more enticing public
yeah,
hybrid
Zoom things, yeah,
hearings.
okay. Okay.
Yep, I got it under the guise of training, because we're going to use it to take on additional group virtual trainings as well.
Okay. Very cool.
And no, I don't think there's really anything else right now. People have really been enjoying the increased financial transparency.
Oh, good.
Now when you post, I'm guessing you post when you post things on Facebook, you know, for people's attention, it's on the government, that town of Hubbardston
Yep.
page, right?
Oh, okay. Do you post on the Hubbardston People Facebook page?
I was
That's
gonna
where all
ask.
the
It depends
that's
what
where all
it
the
is.
action is.
I was gonna ask.
Katie grabs most of the
Yeah.
things that I post and puts them up
Okay.
there. The MMA, Mass Municipal Association, sort of guides town administrators to not lend like credibility to those groups just in case they ever go south, because it creates an additional task for you to do and takes some credibility away from the town official.
Okay.
So I know most of the things I share on the town Facebook get shared there. Whether
Okay.
by me, I'll share things like we're looking for a school committee member.
Yeah.
I'll share that there, and
Mhm.
I try to keep it to community things. Most of our just tracking or formal or invitation type stuff, I'll just post to the town website
Mhm.
and on our town X, formerly known as Twitter, and then go from there. Whoever shares it can share it.
Okay, alright, okay.
That was the reason I asked, because all the action is there. People
Yeah.
are much more attentive to who's complaining over there.
Yeah, well, that's as far as they'll ever go. I always invite them to join the finance committee, and then that's the end of the thread.
It's tame in comparison to other communities that I've seen.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
Definitely good people in town.
All right, well, then if we're all set, it is 6:20, what is it? That's it,
6:28,
6:27.
6:27.
6:27. All right, how about a motion to adjourn? Jumping on it, and so moved and adjourned at 6:27.